Hey everyone, welcome to another Junxions development progress video. After a couple of months I'm back from the paternity leave and I'm ready to show you two new features that have been implemented. So the first one is related to basic road and intersection placement. So first of all, let me show you how it worked in the past. So basically when you placed the road, there was this center line which determined how much of each side of the road could be absorbed by an intersection. So when you had two intersections really close to each other like this, you had to adjust this line to make sure that there's enough space, and also these markers that determined how much of the road is absorbed could be only dragged up to here. And this became a real problem when the player wanted to build something like this, like intersections that are bunched up together. So what we did is that we've completely removed this limitation. Now when you build roads and you want to connect them under any angle, you can do that. They can be very close to each other. And what's more, you can actually, let me show you, you can bunch these intersections so close to each other that they will actually start touching like this. So now you have three intersections basically right next to each other. There's of course a small limit. This is a 10 centimeter long road. I hope that's gonna suffice for most use cases. Just ignore this. Let's just focus on the intersections for now. So basically you can also move them as close as possible. The game will let you do that. And once you cross the threshold, of course, it becomes invalid. Let's just say this is as close as you can get. And of course, basically, when you have intersections, there are crosswalks generated on the entry to the intersection. And this can also be toggled manually. Currently it's with this button that's gonna be changed and the UI gets improved again. But when the intersections are too close to one another, let's try it here, and they start touching, the algorithm determines that they are just too close for the crosswalk to be generated and it gets skipped. This basically means that literally almost anything you want to build is buildable. No more road too short limitations. Another effect that this new feature has, let's move this here, is that these two UI elements determine how big of an intersection this is. Let's try it on the left side like this. Or let's just drag it by itself. There is no longer an arbitrary limit to this, so you can drag it as close to the other intersection as you want and actually start to dampen a little bit. You can also do the same from the other side. So let me move these intersections around a bit to see how further can we push the limitations of the game. Yeah, this is starting to look weird. I mean, that's your own fault for building roads that look like this. But anyway, just that you can see how easy it is to create and build something that's a little bit unorthodox. The second feature that's been implemented is related to road tilting and height. So when you enable this, the game gives you an option to create almost any amount of points that when you place will allow you to increase or decrease the height of the road. And you can place them as many as you'd like. So basically, if you want to build something like this, you can do that. And let's build something weird here. Let's make it look like this. Now you can see it's really jagged, right? Because there's a finite amount of polygons. So what we can do, we can increase the density of the polygons by dragging this slider. This is the highest amount we can do. I'm sorry, this is too low because it's under the terrain. Yeah, so bring it up like this. So let's increase the density to maximum. And now we can also increase the smoothness. And as you can see, the road becomes much smoother. What you can also do is change the tilt of the road. So let's build the curve like this. And let's add a point here. And let's add a, 15-degree bank to the right. And as you can see, the road is tilting 15 degrees in this point, and it smoothly just transitions to the 0 at the endings. Let's move it a little bit more. And here we can add another tilt of 15 degrees, and here's an intersection, right? So what you can also do, of course, is to add tilt to the intersection. So when you drag this down, now we have a 15-degree tilt from this curve right up to this curve. This gives you the ability to build really smooth curves with no visible connections. And of course you can combine them, so you can increase the height or decrease the height and set an angle at which the road banks to a side. Let me show you another use case. So let's build the sloped road that's going up like this, for example. And there's a node in the middle that connects these two roads. When we connect another road in a 90-degree angle like this, these two main roads, of course, they are set as main roads, right? So if you want to set these two as main, I'm sorry, wrong button. Now the intersection gets flattened, but if you want these two as the main road, the intersection stays tilted. And here's a little, let's call it a visual problem, right? So this road is flat and it starts to curve right at the end of it. So when we actually move this, up here, it looks really weird. So what we can do, we can add a point here and change the bank angle. I hope bank angle is the right word because I've been using it up until now. Now, as you can see, the road starts tilting immediately, and by the time it gets up to this intersection, it's perfectly tilted the way it's supposed to be. Of course, there's some clipping that's not fixed yet, but don't worry, that's gonna be fixed. And also you can add another point. For example, if you want the road to start tilting here, you could just another point here, and the road is straight up until this point, and it starts to tilt only here. So here I've prepared another example. So let's build a bridge. Let's raise this to, I don't know, 8 meters. Let's raise this a little lower to make a smooth curve. Let's increase density. Let's increase the smoothness. Now we have a beautiful arch bridge. We can draw a road right underneath. Looks awesome. And here's another example. So let's build this road straight through. And what we can do is decrease the height of this road. So we can just press and hold and drag it down. We can also move it around like this. So let's set it to -8 meters. Let's fix the curve here and here. And let's increase the density and the smoothness. And now we have a beautiful underpass. And as some of you might have noticed, there's something in the background of this level. So let's take a look at it. So this is a tram roller coaster, just to showcase that it can be built with Junxions road tools. So let's wait how the tram goes through. Just to let you know, I've disabled all brakes on this tram, so it's not gonna slow down. But I've actually also decreased the acceleration to 0, so the speed will remain constant. Gonna look a little bit funny, but that's the point, right? Nobody in their right mind is gonna build a tram lane like this. I mean, there is probably going to be a small percentage of players that will attempt something like this. Yeah, so let's increase it a bit. As you can see, the tram has no problems navigating through such wild track. And if you could take a closer look at it, you can really see that all these curves, connections, tilts, heights, and even holes in the ground are really smooth. The tracks looks really like from a roller coaster. And that was the entire point of this update, to make sure that roads can be as smooth as in real life. So thanks for watching and see you next time. Bye bye.